Hi.
Everything. I am mustering all of my energies not to cry.
Guys, we've made it. Can you guys see my forehead fine?
Y'all, okay. To the people that are watching right now, you have no idea how much I appreciate you. I know Chubby appreciates you. You guys are the bomb.com.
They sure are. They followed us everywhere, from back to Facebook, back to Instagram. So, guys, it is 8 o'clock. Well, it's 7:54, but let's round up. Can you, everybody see foreheads here? Are we far enough? Can
All
you guys hear us
foreheads.
clear? All
Thank you
foreheads.
guys so much. Oh my God. I am overflowing with love for you right now, everybody. For Chubby, who did not lose it. I was like, okay, we'll do it again. Because I was about to. She has multiple voice notes of me losing my shit.
Yeah, we tried. We got it. We're here. So, I'm Chubby.
And I'm Vanessa. And this is
No filters, no fears
podcast.
We are trying,
The
guys.
late night edition.
Very late night, apparently. But we do appreciate you guys for literally bouncing, because this is technology is never on our side. But we're here, and that's what matters. So, today's elephant. It's a 5. It's a 5.
Level 5
guys.
elephant.
And if you do not know what the elephant means, it's just a category of, what is it?
It's like a rating scale.
Scale.
What is our trigger warning? So it's like if we're talking about a topic that we know can be sensitive or triggering in any way, it doesn't necessarily have to be a negative trigger, but in any way, we'll just let y'all know.
Yes,
I'm talking backwards. You saw what I did, right? I was about to say our topic is, and I said the name of the topic instead of the topic.
Right. So it also includes content warning, trigger and content warning. Just
trigger and content warning. So this particular one would be content.
Yes. Well, depends. Yeah, and we're gonna go with that. So the topic is pronouns with the S.
Oh no, you can't see the board. I can't see the board.
Oh, you guys can't see the board? You guys didn't even tell me. I could see the board, which is weird.
Y'all, I want you to know that Chubby works so hard on that board.
I'm always on it. Hold on.
I want to see if these earphones work so that I can hear you nice and crisp and clear.
Are you able to see my board now? I mean, see my board and my other artwork that I did?
Yes.
So that means you can see my forehead and all of me, which this is weird. The fact that I can see me entirely, technology, guys. But anyway, so yes, today's topic is about pronouns, what they are, what they mean, and how they are important to us and to everybody, or maybe not important to anybody.
I would hope they're important to people.
I
Okay,
mean,
here we go.
Personally,
we're gonna try this one more again. One more again.
Yes.
Do I hear you?
I can hear you.
Oh, you sound so good.
But can you hear me? Because,
I do hear you. Loud and clear. Crispity, crunchity. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Awesome.
I'm so tangled. Okay.
Yeah, I do not. I can't with the headphones.
I've gotten so used to them because of dubbing that now I feel like super fancy pants.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So
yes,
you told them our pronouns.
Yes.
The thing is, we were gonna make this happen, come hell or high water, because this topic, came up and we wanted to talk about it, and it's important to us. It's important to a lot of people in our life that are close to us, that are very meaningful to us, and it's just something that needs to be talked about because it's one of those things that are happening in the world that there's a big group that kind of strays away from the importance of it, and we don't want that. So we're going to talk about it.
Yes, that's why we're here, to bring awareness.
Yeah, and you guys saw that Chubby, that beautiful post about like the voices that were lent.
Oh,
Um, yes. You're like, oh yes. So and I see that someone is watching because I recognize the hair from the picture.
yes, that's
Hello.
Alicia. Yes, wave. She
Hi.
knows. She's been there.
Hello. And so, we wanted to also acknowledge we worked hard on this episode, y'all, so it was gonna happen. It
We
was gonna
work
happen.
very hard to bring more knowledge to ourselves and to to
Yeah.
you guys. So we hi, she waved. So yes, we did a lot of we gather a lot of information for this, more than we knew, and things we didn't know. But
Yeah.
now we're gonna bring it to you guys. So
All right. Let's hop to it. So, on the topic of pronouns, what do we mean by this? For the people that have no idea what we're talking about, they're like, okay, now it's a literature lesson. No, no. Pronouns is how you refer to someone in conversation, but most importantly, which I think one of the sound clips we'll hear says is, uh, as my friend Aniel very brilliantly specified, it's more important how you refer to a person when they're not around
not
because you're honoring their identity, you're honoring who they are. And that spoke volumes to me. That really stuck with me, and it made it clear as to why pronouns are so important. Vanessa Wusa, yeah, child, yes. It
both
got
of
my
us.
Cuban and my Dominican going. That's a lot.
If it wasn't because I needed this technology, which people know about, I hate. Oh my God, I hate technology. It just makes me want to break it. And I didn't. I didn't. I come down. See,
Says it's
I'm
not.
bettering
Some
myself,
other
guys.
people might say that it's not the technology, it's the people. But in my
Well,
case, I know that's true, but you know what you're doing. I surely know that it's the person, not the technology for me. So
yeah, I'm gonna.
pronouns for you, Chubi, what did this topic, why was it relevant, important to you? Because we said it and we're like, yes, we're going to talk about this.
Well, personally, pronouns are important because you obviously do not want to refer to someone obviously by something that they're not. Like, for example, I don't like to be called anything than Chewy or Christina. Don't call me anything else. I'm comparing it to pronouns because they're basically the same thing. It's a name,
Absolutely.
it's a thing that connects you to you. So if you call me anything else, I am going to either be annoyed or offended or whatever.
Okay.
So pronouns are important because they show
Mm.
respect. And besides that, it's just common decency to just want to switch that one word from, for example, to he to she, or
Yeah,
he to vice versa. Just be respectful. So,
I feel like
shots
I
fired.
think about it in terms of a degree, right?
Mm,
If you think about it in terms of a degree, when somebody is a doctor, they make damn sure you say Doctor so and so,
exactly. Yeah.
right? They worked hard for that degree, they studied. They want to make sure that they're referred to for the time and effort placed into this identity they've built for themselves as a doctor.
Exactly.
That's all that another person is asking, that you refer to them in a way that makes them feel seen and appreciated for who they feel and know themselves to be. It's not that complicated. And it
It's
gets really frustrating to see people on purpose use the wrong pronoun.
right because it feels like it's taking more away from them than just like using it. It's not. It's really not. It just makes you look like a jerk for not respecting them,
Right.
basically.
You don't have to agree. Like
Right.
it's that you
Exactly.
you don't need that pronoun, but if someone else is requesting it, I don't. I guess if we, I mean, I don't think anybody wants to be that one person to be like, yeah, I don't see the point, and
Right.
put themselves out there. But I'm sure we've all experienced at one moment or another someone who was like, you're with that person and they're not referring to the third party as the pronoun that they would like to be addressed as, and how uncomfortable that is because you're like, she or it's he or it's they,
Right.
you know? So it's uncomfortable for me. I can only imagine the person on the receiving end who's
Right.
expecting to hear themselves referred to as a he, a she, or a they, whatever it is they choose. It has to undermine their humanity in some way.
Yeah, because then that's the thing, and it just stays with them too. It's like, how many times did I tell you that it was she? And I get it that the first time it was slip, the third time, but then after the fourth, fifth time, and you've known them for a while, and you're still there, now you're just doing that on purpose.
Right.
Like I don't know. I was just gonna say that you're that you're literally not one. You just don't care. That's it. You just don't care.
And so,
sorry, downloading the voice notes now.
I'll go ahead, download the voice notes. I mean, for me, I will be 100. There are moments where, for example, there is a friend of mine that we go way back to, like high school, and when he transitioned, when he was in the process, it was still, it was a difficult thing for me to refer to him as a him for a time, and it would still slip up, and I would say she, and it's not necessarily the embarrassed, and he never made me feel embarrassed because he knew it was I was coming from a place of love, and I really wasn't intentional, and it happened more than once, twice, three times, because I remember the experiences with the she. So it became getting used to it for myself, because I wanted this person to know that I love them for exactly who they are and who they found themselves. They were finally able to be their true self, and I wanted to honor that, but my mind is stubborn. So it took it a minute. So I can understand that, and I can understand the error happening more than once, and correcting yourself, and a patience on both sides, patience on the learner side, patience on the teacher side, because that's basically what our non-binary brothers and sisters and friends are teaching us.
But it's also wanting to learn and wanting to sit there and be like, okay, I am going to do this for, not necessarily for you, but for everybody, for us. I want to gain knowledge. I want to be here, and I want to know this. I want to learn it because I know it's important to you, and therefore you're important to me. Therefore, that should be important to me as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think as passionate as we are about the topic, because we have, so many people around us, and we mix ourselves in all of these amazing groups of people and activists and such. So it was important to us, but our voices alone would not have made the impact as much as being able to reach out to people within our circle who this is very important to them, this is very relevant to them, and have their take on what pronouns means to them. And hearing it back, I'm gonna be hearing some of these for the first time with y'all.
Oh yeah, I couldn't send you the rest.
Yeah, yes. I mean, we'll be hearing from my friend Aniel, who I absolutely love. Hi, Aniel.
I hope he's watching somewhere.
He's in Brazil. With me.
I don't know.
Yeah, hearing his take on pronouns. We've discussed it multiple times, but in such a direct, this is the question posed, and such a direct, frank answer from somebody who has so generously shared their journey on their own social media platforms, was very, it hit deep, it resonated, and it was beautiful to hear him so eloquently express that. So I'm looking forward to hearing everybody else's.
Yes. We had to, when I heard about this topic, or we chose this topic, I had to ask all the people that I know, I had to ask them, what do pronouns mean to you? And some answers were like, oh wait, I never thought about it. So it was important to us for us to know how the people that we associate with, that are friends, that we love, how do they feel. So you wanna start? Who should we start with?
Surprise me. I'm only gonna recognize one of the voices anyway.
Right, and I'm gonna
Everybody else, I'm
recognize.
gonna be like, ooh.
Oh yeah, and then I'm gonna recognize all of them because I already spoke to him. So okay, guys, let's see how this thing works. Hold on, where's technology at?
Y'all, we're trying to be super technologically advanced for y'all. We're getting it together, little by little.
People that know me, they know that I am not
This
good
is
at
not
this.
beer, y'all. This is a liqueur. I should probably put like tape on it because there's like we don't get advertising rights for them.
This is not
A
beer.
commercial, but liqueur. If you want to sponsor, no filters, no fears. Hey.
Right. Okay, so we are going to hear from one of my mentors. Her name is Jessica, and I love her dearly. I hope she's somewhere out there listening. Let's see if
Hello,
this thing
Jessica.
works. Give me a break. I don't know how to. I'm gonna play it now, guys. So here he goes. With all the guides out there. Okay.
Hi, this is Jessica Lamb. I am from Miami, Florida. I am also the Vice President of the International Transgender Certification Association. Part of my job there is to educate therapists and counselors and professionals in their field to work with the transgender community. One of the things that we talk about quite a bit is respecting pronouns. Now, a little bit more about me is I am transgender. My gender marker at birth is male. I transitioned to a female in the mid-90s, had surgery at the turn of the century. Can't believe I'm using that term, but at around 2003. And I've been living as a woman pretty much since the end of last century, so since 1995-96. Pronouns had always been an issue. Now, if you would have asked me way back when, it was really important. And I know for a lot of trans individuals, it is certainly a sore subject when somebody misgenders them through the use of pronouns. Now, it's going to happen. People will misgender, especially family. Listen, I've been living as a transgender person, as a woman now, for over 20 years of my life. Hard to believe. It's about 25 years of my life I've been living as a woman, and still my family love me, accept me, and are a part of my life. And they're usually pretty good about pronouns, but they still, on occasion, misgender me. It's funny because, you know, sometimes they'll say I'm still their brother, and I am. I'm technically still their brother, but I am what most people would see as a sister. So if they're going to introduce me to a stranger, they will say I'm their sister. But typically speaking, it's just really interesting to feel that. Now, I used to always say, call me he or she, whatever you want, just as long as you call me. But that's not always the case for most transgenders. So when you use the wrong pronouns, essentially is what you're doing is you're disrespecting that person's identity and how they feel they should be presented. Just imagine in your own world if somebody used the wrong pronouns with you, how would you react and how would you feel about that? In some cases, if you're pretty secure with your own gender identity, it might not bother you. You may just correct them and say, excuse me. But it's not always an indication that somebody is trying to disrespect you. It's just something that we have grown accustomed to in our society. Now try changing pronouns in different languages. I happen to know in the Spanish language that is certainly a challenge. And there are times when I'm speaking in the Spanish language that I will misgender myself. And that's happened on occasions. So very interesting. Now, I know who I am. I know my gender identity. I know what I stand for. I am pretty secure in my life that if somebody were to misgender me, I would simply correct them, move forward. And if they don't correct themselves, you know, I always just try to make them feel more comfortable with the situation. I don't feel disrespected, even if that's their intention of disrespecting me. Honestly, because I'm secure enough in my own skin. But that's not always the case for a transgender person, especially in their early ages of transition. When you use the right pronouns, it is affirming their gender identity. It is like a ray of sunshine in their life. It's a way for them to feel that they are seen and heard.
You know, we'll cry.
Respect somebody's gender, and if you misgender somebody by accident, correct yourself and move on. You know, usually it's lingering on those things that make an issue with the people. So it's always happened to me. My kids still call me daddy. Totally fine, even though I may look like their mom because I present as a female. I am still biologically their father, and I have never obligated them to call me anything other than daddy. Pretty cool when I'm out in public and somebody sees them call me daddy. In some cases, they may turn around and say, oh, are you divorced? I know it happens with me when my ex-spouse brings the kids over and they always use the wrong gender pronoun with me. But it's how I react to it that most people will notice. So anyhow, use the right pronouns, affirm people's identity, and when you misgender on accident, correct and move on. Don't linger. But anyhow, it is important in today's world to be sensitive. Most of the time, a lot of the kids I work with these days are carrying a label right up. As much as we don't want to be labeled, we're wearing labels on our shirts, basically telling people these are my pronouns. He, they, she, whatever it may be. So I sometimes have issue with they, only because I'm proper English, but I do try to respect the they and theirs. I've never gone by they and theirs, but I do know that a lot of individuals who are genderqueer may use those pronouns. Me, use the pronouns she, her, hers, however you want to refer to it, but that's about it. And I'll still say to you, call me what you want to call me as long as you just call me. So this is Jessica Lamb. I hope what I had to share was insightful, and thank you for listening. Bye.
Oh, that was lovely. I can see how she was your mentor.
I love her. I met her when I was like 20, at 21 maybe. Who knows? I was young, guys.
What a kind voice. Like, it made me feel
what was interesting about what she said was wow, this whole lagging just took my brain on. Continue, because now my brain just literally has a fog.
My whole thing on it was everything she said was so, and I think there's a lot to be said for the experience, for the time that she's been able to see the many different things. You're falling into a vortex. She's been able to experience not just her own, but seeing those that she mentors as well and their experiences. In Spanish, is saying, la experiencia no se improvisa. So you can't improvise experience.
Right.
And time and actually living gives that to you. And hearing her speak from such a place of knowledge and it did put like a little something in a knot in my throat.
There's something wrong. Before you continue, there is something wrong with your voice.
Oh no!
Oh, Peter said never mind, it got better.
Okay.
Guys. Technology.
What put the knot in my throat was basically, it kind of falls back to the whole privilege thing.
Yes.
You don't think about it or how important it is. Because, I mean, over the phone to me it happens a lot. I have a deep, raspy, sexy voice. And sometimes I'll be called sir. I'm like, I'm a ma'am, but it's okay. And we go on. But it's never happened to me to the point of where I feel like I'm not being seen or appreciated for the person I present to be. I cannot imagine what that feels like on a consistent level. Like all the time you are presenting yourself as a he and you live your life this way, and then you get bombarded all the time with a she, or vice versa. I think that now is as good as time as any for in this kind of global conscious awakening. I know that sounds very like tree huggery, but I'm a total tree hugger.
We
But
are.
I mean, with all the things going on, how can we not call it either you're awakening or you want to sleep. Like it's one of the two. Either you're awakened to all the things that are happening in the world, including the fact that people need to be respected and referred to as who they are, not who you need them to be for you.
Right, exactly. And just to clarify something, this is not only for the trans community, this is for everybody. This pronouns applies to everyone. Androgynous, non-binary people, everyone. Just to clarify, not just trans people.
Right. And of course, it most definitely applies to those of us who have to refer to the people in our life
Mm,
as a pronoun that is meaningful to them, that
right.
identifies them, that honors them. And in getting used to that, it's okay to have the conversation because you do mess up and it does make you feel uncomfortable. Like, ah, damn, I hope they don't feel bad. Like, you go
Mhm.
through it. But the more you linger on that, I think that's the most important thing that I took away from what Jessica said, not to linger.
That's what, thank you. I was like rattling my brain about that. That's what I.
That was like, yeah, you're right. You messed up, you move on. Because if you linger on it, then it's like you're gonna mess up again. And I say that to my students all the time. If you all do stuff every time you mess up in a scene, when you go to perform it, you're gonna mess up again in that same damn spot.
Right. Well, what I got out of that I was gonna say earlier in the beginning was that most people do that. They don't realize that it bothered them, and then they don't bring it up later on because they're like, oh, it's too late. Like I didn't realize that, but it did bother me. Oh my God, just bring it up again. Like I've done with you plenty of times that I'm sorry. I feel like I sounded like a total
Right.
bitch earlier, and I'm sorry. And then you're like, no, no, no. But bring it up. What matters is that you bring it up so that doesn't stay in you for that long. Because if not, it's just
Hablando
gonna.
se entiende la gente.
Exactly. If not, you're just gonna feel not resentment, but just then bitter. Like you can't talk to someone about it. It's like,
Right.
oh, I couldn't communicate that, but you can't. But
Yeah.
guys, what did you guys think about it? What did you guys think about Jessica's intake on what she said? Give us your input.
Let us know your input, your thoughts, feelings. If you've made the error, and caught yourself, what that caused in you. Because um, I remember, like, this is not personal, this is from a movie, and I'm very happy to see this a lot more um, not in the media. Let's be specific, in TV shows,
Right.
right? One of my favorite shows, Sense8. I know you saw this.
Yes.
Sense8 is phenomenal. I liked it anyway. I know a lot of people have issues, too much back and forth, la la la, but I loved it. One of the characters is transgender, but everyone she lives her life, everyone refers to her as a she. But then as soon as her family comes in, um, you know, even in her requesting very patiently, very calmly saying, you know, they call her by her former name, Michael, and it's very hurtful. And and you kind of see the writers did an excellent job, the actress did an amazing job in portraying the trauma, because that's exactly what it is. You're causing trauma in this person by not just being able to say she. Oh, hello.
Before you read that, what I also
Uh-huh.
have to point out that the former name is called a dead name
Oh, thank
in
you.
in the LGBT community, or well, the transgender, whoever. Like I have a dead name. I don't want nobody to use it. Just don't freaking use it. It highly bothers me. So, and that is another a form of being disrespectful, using someone's dead name. Guys, please don't use it. It
Yeah.
just if they're telling you this is my name, use it. And that's all I have to say about that. Oh, and the actress that played Nomi on Sensei, yes, guys, I know way too much. She is a real trans actress.
Yes, which made
So,
me very happy.
yes.
It made me so happy.
Okay,
Because,
wait.
I mean, okay, go. I love
No, no.
Jessica's take. No, no, I was gonna read. Oh, I love Jessica's takes on pronouns. Her advice to correct and move on is so important. It should be acknowledged when you make a mistake, but you also don't need to beat an apology into a person because that makes them feel even more uncomfortable, I
Exactly.
would imagine.
And holding yourself
Yeah.
accountable will ensure you don't make that mistake again.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Simple as that. You just address it. And
yeah.
also, like you said, like we've spoken before, just communication. You don't like something, communicate it. Hey, now how can you work through that? Like we've spoken before in all of our episodes, just
Yeah.
communication. Talk to someone about it. What do you like about it? What happened, and how you can move forward into being better and and that's it.
And I mean,
Communication.
a lot of it's I've read so many articles, and it's so disheartening to read so many articles that are about how those who are requesting a different use of pronouns, so to be referred to as a she right here, that they're having an identity crisis. No, they're having an identity awakening. This is who I am. The identity crisis, you're forcing it on this person. Like they're already having to accept so many things and go on such a difficult journey. Why would you make it more difficult, more confusing?
And that's the
Um,
thing.
yeah, no, go ahead.
That once that they find that noun, that pronoun that fits them, and they finally are like, wow, this is what I am, and they're able to put those two together, they feel free because now I mean, I get it. Nobody wants to use labels. You don't want to be labeled, but when you do find a label that does fit you, and then eventually you will want to use it, now you have something that you could use if someone
Yeah,
were to ask you, what's your, pronouns? What would you like to be called?
yeah.
And it feels so good to just have that.
I mean, I've I have many friends that are non-binary, many friends that are transgender, and so I've always been aware of it, and I o sea, it makes sense. Just respect. Te pidieron, you do it, right? They're not asking me to do something that's going to hurt anyone.
Right.
But I think it would have really hit home. And y'all, I'm an actor, so anything that's a play or a video, it's going to drive things home for me in a different way that maybe a book would for Chubi because you know,
Right.
avid reader. um, but for me, I saw this movie that is currently on Netflix. I cannot remember the name of it, but it's about the life of Lily Elbe, which was a painter back
That's
in
a
the
lot.
day. Back in the day, painter, married, uh, first successful transgender, like the first operation, if I'm not mistaken. She went through it to get to that point, and to see that whole journey and see the people that stuck with her. But at the end, unfortunately, the last surgery that she had didn't take. She got an infection and she passed. But she passed hearing the person who she loved most and respected most refer to her, and this gonna make this gonna make me cry, and say, "I love you, Lily."
Wasn't this the Danish girl?
Yes, yes.
I seen it. Yeah, lovely
Okay.
story.
Isn't it real story?
And mind you, it was that story, how they got the information and everything. It wasn't really documented. She was never documented the first transgender person, but she was.
Yeah. And
And that's
and the movie
that's
was written based on her journals, wasn't it? Was her journals but her
something like.
wife her wife was the one who said that to her as she was passing, and she was finally able to hear herself referred to as the person she always felt. And it was so beautiful. And at the same time, so heartbreaking that you have to
Yes.
wait till you're on your deathbed for somebody to say that.
Oh, don't make me cry, girls. Woo! Guys, get them tears rolling.
Because the
And
thing is, I think I think as people, as humans, as a survival tactic, I guess, we try to dissociate from feelings like that, right? Because like, okay, it won't be, but you can absolutely relate to that in a different way,
yeah.
right? You can relate to it in the way of why would you have to wait so long to have um, a parent, right? If you have an estranged parent, have that parent say to you, I love you,
Just
right? Or have the person that you've loved all your life and they've loved you too, but they no te dicen nada. And then at the end, finally say it. Beautiful, lovely gesture. But why can't you just live your life that way? And that's what we're denying those individuals who say, please refer to me as, right? It's a little getting used to maybe for you, but it makes such a difference to them. And how
a
beautiful to
world.
know that you can give someone that feeling of being seen and appreciated for exactly who they are.
It makes a whole world of a difference, and that's what people do not understand, and they don't take that into consideration. Like Jessica said, what if you put yourself in their shoes for the minimalist things, even your name. Oh, you mispronounced my name. This is not how you say it. It's literally the same freaking thing.
Absolutely.
So just,
Absolutely.
okay, I'm sorry I mispronounced your name. Can you please help me say it properly? Yeah, it takes 2 seconds for you to call me she or he instead of the opposite.
Yeah.
But people are not mindful about that sometimes. They just don't care.
Yeah. It's also it's a help, my favorite word.
Reframe.
I swear it's gonna be the hashtag. That's gonna be our show's hashtag. And this is thank you to Helen Rodriguez for teaching me this. Um,
Reframe.
reframing. It's a lot of reframing. The
Yeah.
human mind is constantly reframing, and learning things. Oh, we gotta work a little extra hard. It's a little extra hard. I'm dying to hear the next one. How many notes do we have? Like
Yes.
five?
We have four more.
Four more?
And
All
I'm
right, I'm
leaving
ready.
Aniel for the last because he's the longest one we had. So right now I'm gonna play. Her name is Dulange, and I've spoken to you about her before. She's one of my best friends. So this is her take on what pronouns are.
Dulange,
There's
I've
Dulange.
never really thought about pronouns. I mean, I get it. A person could choose to identify as a female or male, it or them or they. Everyone has a choice. However, I've never really thought about it. I know that for those that do have a choice or have chosen, they prefer to hear the pronoun that suits them. For example, if an individual identifies as a her, even though society may not agree that the person is a her, excuse me for saying it, but to me it's only fair that they are addressed as what they identify as. But for me, I never thought of it, never really had the idea in my mind. I just knew that I was a she and I identify as she. However, I don't like the word girl though, but I identify as she. I am a female. And how is it important? It is important because how you identify, although it may not mean anything to someone else, it should mean something to you. But at the end of the day, it is something that is yours. If I identify as she, it's because I like the fact that I am of the female gender or that I am a she. If you identify as us or them, it's because this is something that defines you, that shapes you, that you feel is the meaning or essence of you. So, yes, pronouns are important. They may not be important to everyone. They don't have to be. But I do believe there is a great importance about pronouns. Really good questions. And I hope other people have thoughts on them too. Once again, name's Dulange. Awesome podcast.
Oh, I love the end too. That was great.
And that's the thing. Oh, but baby.
No, because you were gonna go ahead.
That's the thing, that some people just live. They just live their existence as what they are, who they are, but they don't ever think about it. Maybe they don't have conflicting. Yes, he is. Maybe they don't have conflicting feelings, but that's the thing. Like you just are. Like she said, she never thought about it. And when I heard that reply, I was like, that is mostly all the population, because they don't think about it. They just are. So
that's where that privilege pops in.
Yeah, you could
in
say
a way,
that.
It's in a different way than what we're talking about, but
no, of course, yeah.
Costumbre,
yes.
Right? The habit, the ritual of not needing to.
Yeah.
I found this quote because I'm gonna tie it to a play.
Yes.
Because you keep saying my name, who like refer to about the name you've chosen, not just the pronoun, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Dulange, is that her name? It's so fancy.
Yeah.
It makes me want to say Lange. Make it extra French.
Yeah, extra French. I'm glad you caught it. Yes, French.
She also spoke about, if that's what their idea. It's a repeating thing, respect and like something yours, right?
Yes.
Reminded me of this line in The Crucible, which is a very, very, very old play. Well, that's not old, but it's old. And the line that sticks out, that's everybody's famous, that every actor lives to play, is because it is my name. Because I cannot have another in my life. Because I lie and sign myself to lies. Because I am not worth the dust on my feet, or whatever. The rest has nothing to do, but it's because it is my name. Because I cannot live my life by any other name. So it's important.
That's the thing. I stopped using my first name, and whoever doesn't know it, oh well. I stopped using my birth name and started using my middle name like 11, 12 years ago. I cannot resonate with my dead name. I don't. So I cannot live my life any other way but who I am. That's it.
And I find it so funny because society now says, that it's so difficult to, oh, I can't remember, say she instead of he or he instead of she. And all of these different dynamics of it. But, they make such a big deal of like taking someone's last name in marriage or not taking the last name. Or like when you get divorced, don't call me by that name. Or when, like, there's so many specifications of how to be referred to or not. Or like I said, it's like a degree. You went to school this many years to become a doctor, call me Dr. So-and-so, right? It's the same damn thing.
Exactly. But that's the thing, they don't correlate it. They just think that they're, incidents that do not relate to each other. They think they're isolated incidents that is just one thing here and there, when they don't realize in technicality, anything that has a name or a representation or anything with a name, it's related. It's like a teacher. Don't call me this because I'm this teacher. I'm not a doctor. It's like, don't call me anything but this particular yoga teacher. I'm not a school teacher. I'm a yoga teacher. You see, like,
right.
But at the end of the day, it does correlate.
It's so funny. We make the biggest fusses about the biggest nonsense, and the things that are so important. We can't just take a moment, reflect, and do. Yeah. Before we play before we play the next one, I wanted to mention about the stages of change, because we had talked about wanting to pop that in. So, and we'll be getting a voice clip or a video of this brilliant woman. explaining this a lot better than I'm about to.
You and
Helen
I both.
Rodriguez. Yeah, I'm gonna triturar esto. But Helen Rodriguez, she's heard all of the previous episodes mention about the stages of change. We literally had an episode about change. And I'm sure we would have gotten to this. And I think in every episode hereafter, this whole cycle of change will pop up again because it makes sense that it would. Hold on, I'm gonna bring it up on my screen so I'm not pulling it out of my booty. So in life there actually exists a cycle of change, and what it serves in many different aspects of life, and it's pretty much to get us to stick to a new way of thinking, or a new habit, or whatever the case may be. So the first one is called pre-contemplation. You've not yet considered change, or is not unwilling, or unable to change. So the primary task is to raise awareness, right? And every new beginning, new understanding, new global consciousness situation starts with nobody knows it's a problem, or nobody knows that they are not being active in this. So you raise the awareness. The second is contemplation. Sees the possibility of change, but is ambivalent and uncertain. Primary task, resolving the ambivalence, helping to choose change, right? So change is always a choice, which is why cycles repeat themselves, which is why history repeats itself. It cannot just be the one person wanting to change. It's everybody
Have to
contemplating, coming into this contemplation together. Being aware that you are not just changing someone's pronouns for the heck of it. You are honoring and respecting that person as they are, for who they are. Determination, which is more usually known as, oh man, she told me. I'll tell you right now what it is. It's more readily known as preparation, sorry. But here they call it determination. Committing to change. Still considering what to do. So you're starting to make the preparations, okay? You're starting to assess or understand what the change needs to be. Help identify, this is the task, appropriate change strategies. So appropriate change strategies in this particular situation is, if give me a name, Bob says refer to me as a she. She is a she. Right? So it's understanding the action. Taking steps towards change but hasn't stabilized in the process. Primary task, help implement change strategies and learn to eliminate potential relapses. Right? It's exactly what are they? I go back up. Gorgeous hair, pink, orange hair. Thank you, Ilecia. I'm like, name. I need a name. Okay. Said it before. You made the mistake, you acknowledge it, and hold yourself accountable so you don't make it again. That's action. 5, maintenance. Ooh, child. And here's where we get into the nitty-gritty of what actual change is. There can be no real change. Hear this. Apply it to all things in life. If we don't maintain. The definition, has achieved the goal and is working to maintain change. The task, the primary task, develop new skills for maintaining recovery. And the final step is recurrence. Experience a recurrence of the symptom, not the symptom, but obviously. Cope with consequences and determine what to do next. So maintaining and making sure that it's a recurring habit.
Yeah, like don't do it one time and then that's it. Yes, exactly. I did it for a month and now it's over. It's kind of like when you start a diet. Sorry for myself. And you're like, I start Monday and you're going hard for 3 months and then there's a Thanksgiving and it's over. Right. And then you have to wait until January to start again, right? A similar mindset, and the same thing applies. You know, we're seeing so many changes right now in the world that
yeah, we get them implemented. We're signing these petitions. We're moving this thing and that. Maintain.
Keep
It
doing
cannot be
it.
of the moment. You cannot refer to this person who has requested. I identify as, right? It's not I identify as, I am. We said that that's the name of the podcast, and I love it. Thank you, Chubi, for that.
You're welcome.
I don't identify as, I am. Yes, me. Oh, hello. So many people. Hi, friends.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe we start doing it later.
I know. Guys, tell us if there's a better time for y'all, because if 7 is not working, come on.
We'll move it.
Well, we only have 15 minutes, so we gotta move it.
Play the next one. I don't know. We started a little late, so we might do bonus rounds.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, if it's 90,
so tell me, guys, talk to me. What have the recordings you've listened to thus far? How have they resonated with you? Have you had any experience that reflecting on it now, you're like, okay, I handled that better? Peter, don't laugh at me. I liked you before. Don't make me not like you.
in that is like, did you guys learn something new? Did you guys thought, wow, I never actually thought about, like Dulange says, she never thought about her own pronouns. Did you think about that yourselves? Really?
I love the states of change. Yes.
My dyslexic self's read orange. I'm like, what is he talking about, orange? That says change. Change.
It's change. And I look very forward to like sharing with you guys some more from therapist Helen.
Oh yes, that's what I was gonna say before we got kicked out. The stages of change will be added onto our final video together. I will put all that information. We will put on the posts. We will send it to you guys if you guys want it. We will keep you, informed. So all that will be there for you.
You need to change your glasses prescription.
Right.
Orange.
Hold on, I need to take my eyes out. Okay, guys. Yeah. I already messaged her, but she's not on, but we need to get on with the show.
It's okay. She'll be able to watch it. Thank you so much for giving it to us, though.
Yes, thank you for your input. Oh, she made it.
Hey!
Okay, so here we go. The next one is from Ilecia, and here we go.
So the subject of pronouns has always been something that I hold very close to my heart. I was raised by two women, two openly lesbian women. So I grew up around the LGBTQ community. And because I had two mothers, I was very open to people being able to express themselves and live independently in the way of which they wanted, that they desired. That was something that was instilled in me at a very young age. But pronouns did not become prominent in my life until I ended up dating and eventually marrying a transgender male. And this is a person that I knew prior to their transition, so female to male. And one thing that was important to me is that I respected his wishes in every sense of the word. And so I had to essentially move past, what I knew prior to the transition and focus on just making sure that I was holding myself accountable for the things that I said. And, making sure that I use he, him, and, making sure that my family and friends addressed him in a way that he desired so that he would feel comfortable. Because, that's a very big life change. And you want to respect a person's life. So when it comes to pronouns, I just think that it's a person fighting for their freedom to live in a way that they desire. And, as a person in general, I think everyone has that right. So pronouns to me are very important, and I will do my part and educate my own child so that he finds the value in using the correct pronouns and making sure that we are treating people in the way in which they desire to be treated and addressing them in the way that they desire to be addressed. So pronouns to me equate freedom.
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 all
Girl,
the things that were important.
well, I heard everything, but no.
Yeah,
I hope you did, guys, hear everything. But
yeah, yeah.
um, that's another thing. As she was saying, as she's gonna educate her child. That's
Yes.
also important. What you teach them, and
Yep.
how last episode, remember?
It all ties together, people.
All they do, they do.
Oh man, it's important. I mean, because if it's difficult, it's easier for them. They're fresh and learning and absorbing all this information. Again, we're the ones that are showing it to them. Let's teach them the right things,
Exactly.
to honor people for who they are and to respect them in their uniqueness. Oh, and the
Yes.
thing is, you know, the upcoming generations, they're already having to assimilate so much. It's even one generation after the next one coming. Those are the ones that we really gotta like lay it out for them fresh and beautiful.
Alicia mentioned something earlier that she posted on her post on her Facebook, that she said something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing here, don't you know. She said
Mm.
something along the lines of, I'm teaching my son these certain things. If you're an adult around him and you guys know that I'm teaching him these certain things, do not do the opposite, because it's just taking away all the hard work I put into teaching
Mm.
my son this particular way. So yeah, sorry. I know this is a different episode, but it was just
No,
something
no,
that
no. It all ties together. It absolutely all ties together. And it hasn't been an accident on either of our sides, either on
right.
Truby or mine, that they all tie together in some way or another. Um,
We met directly
because
to think of them.
yeah, what's relevant to each like what's been relevant in our conversations have been these topics,
Right.
right? We talk about them automatically, so we try to think of how to pose them to y'all for you to share with us. And of course, it's all tied together. We are all tied together. The I think our biggest error as a human race is that we continue to try to find ways to separate ourselves from one another.
And get
And nature forces us every damn day
to come back because
to
we're one.
remind us that we are not different. And the things that do make us unique, right, and differentiate us are to be celebrated and honored and respected and acknowledged and learned about, right? Because that's what makes the world go round. That's what makes the world go round. Ooh.
Exactly.
I'm ready.
You ready?
Because
Um,
I'm nervous and because Facebook doesn't let you come in. Instagram te bota. Like, I don't know. I'm feeling very attacked by social media.
Trust me, we're good that we still have our technology right now
But
because I'm about
I
to.
so appreciate. Thank you, Alicia, for teaching your son those things and for being
Yes,
so aware. Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's the thing that kind of sometimes upsets me, that if you have kids, why not teach them something valuable, something.
I don't feel like sometimes I don't necessarily think it's something that parents are doing like intentionally. I'm gonna
Oh, of course not.
screw this next generation over. No, no, I know you don't think that, but I really feel like sometimes we need the reminder, oh yeah, you should probably not tell them that this because it'll do that. You know, that's why they say it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah, that's what Peter just said.
Oh, is that what he said? Oh, Peter. See, Peter, we're back. We're back. I'm back at loving you so much. Yeah, it takes a village. We may try to control, yes, what is taken in by the child, absolutely. And catch ourselves. Oh man, I really did tell them that this was garbage and that should not be an opinion. Like, you know what I mean?
It's just like
Have
when
such
we
a strong opinion.
said, wow, guys, my brain is like,
I
comes and goes, comes and goes.
want to read the whole thing that he wrote. Or wait. The difficult thing about raising child. Ay, caramba, I touching the buttons.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't.
although like classic saying, takes a village. Although we may try to teach our children specific things, it's hard to control. Yeah, it escapes us, but that's why it takes a village, because the next person will be like, hey, not like that.
My brain got back. Okay. Yes, like
Okay.
on our last episode, how we were saying how what we were raised, the way we were raised, sometimes we pass
Yes.
it down to them. So yeah, it's important to catch ourselves and be like, whoa, they taught me this, but I don't approve of it. But I subconsciously I'm doing it without realizing. Oh, hold on, let me change it. And then all you can
Right.
do is be better from there.
And we all adopt things that, that were, I'm Spanglish 5,000 today, that was put in us. And that they're not all necessarily bad. Some things don't necessarily need to be changed completely, but
Right.
tweaked. Reframed. Hashtag reframed.
I'm gonna make you a
Because
shirt.
I love it. Because sometimes it's as simple as that. You know, times change. Certain teachings don't always change, but sometimes they do, and you have to be willing to flow with that change and let it happen and think differently and accept that you're gonna get pushback on certain things. But if it's really true to you and you feel that you're doing right and you're not hurting anybody, like really push forward that change. Go through the whole cycle of it and implement it as a maintained thing in your life. And it'll start reflecting in other parts of it. I
Yeah,
really
if
believe
you
that.
start cultivating now that your child is this young and teaching them about pronouns and things like that and how to respect people and how to acknowledge different little things, it's gonna stay in them,
Yeah.
hopefully, until they
Well,
grow.
I mean, you're dealing with this new human who's experiencing the world for the first time.
Literally.
They will feel the need to maybe want to use a different pronoun. So what are you like, why let's not raise another generation feeling that they need to hide themselves or that how they're feeling is wrong, right? Just because we need to propagate a certain mindset of the
Right,
pronoun.
have that relationship with your child that they could come to you to talk to you about everything and everything.
Yeah.
Just make sure that they could trust you with their feelings so they could know, oh, I could go to mom, I could go to dad and be like, this is how I'm feeling, and then it's your responsibility to see how you're going to move
Yeah.
on with that, move forward with that, and how you're going to approach it, and hopefully for the best.
I like a little heart. We got a little heart from someone. Thank you.
It's a green heart. Who's ever doing that?
Oh,
What?
you got a green one. I had an orange one.
What's
All right.
happening?
Let's
Okay.
play the next thing
The
because me
next
da
one will
miedo.
be
Now I'm nervous. I'm
the
alert.
next one will be it's the next one is from Anita. Okay, here we go.
There it is.
Using pronouns give you the opportunity to show others that you respect who they are individually, despite what your beliefs may be, or even if you are on their side. It's a source of respect for you to be able to call someone by the name that they prefer.
Short and sweet.
Ah, short and sweet to the point. But what again? The recurring theme.
Respect.
Respect. Respect.
And how hard is it to respect someone?
The thing is, here's what it like we deem respect. Like I don't know what it is that we see as respect that is so difficult. It's not, they're not telling you respect me, listen to me, follow my rules. All they're
Like
saying is
authority-wise, right?
I am a she, I am a he. I would like for you to refer to me as they. That's all they're asking. And that gives them something. Why would you deny anyone something that simple?
And then again,
I just get annoyed and I don't know what to say. I'm like,
I think it goes back to the person themselves. Maybe they have some internal struggles of their own that they can't deal, or maybe they're just stubborn, for lack of a better word, guys.
I mean, understanding that, it is something to get used to. Like here it is. I can respect that maybe it's a twitch, but that you get used to and that you do it is one thing. And then, but the parties that I have difficult understanding are the ones that acknowledge, oh, this person wants to be referred to as he, she, they, I think that's dumb. I think they're crazy. I think all these horrible things that get placed on someone's so simple request, I'm not going to do it. It's not your damn choice. It's not your choice to say, I'm not going to do it just because I don't feel like it. It's those people that I'm concerned as to, like, how can we help them to see the light?
And that's why we're here, educating people. If you're seeing this and you thought before that pronouns were not important, well, hopefully this opened your mind to thinking outside of that little box of yours and thinking, wait, there's more to me than how I feel.
It's like, if I put it in a way that maybe more people can understand, when we were kids and we would turn in homework, getting a bad grade would feel really crappy, right? It would get really crappy. And you turn in another paper and it was still not the best, but the teacher gave you a star because they saw improvement and they appreciated that. Seeing yourself appreciated for the effort, right?
Right.
Was like, it just makes your eyes glow and you got so excited and you wanted to keep improving. It's similar in the sense that I feel like when I've seen the people that I care about addressed in a way that makes them feel seen and identified as who they are, I see them glow. I see them happy and in themselves, right? We all have that moment. We all deserve to have that where we feel in our body, in our power. And all it is a simple pronoun. That's it. For some people, that's all it is.
I have so many thoughts right now because the thing is that it is a simple pronoun. Yet they think it's more, they take it more that it's about them than the other person.
Right.
Oh, why do I have to use it when I don't need to or feel like it? Then again, it's like, why are you that way? Why it's making you so angry or so careless or like?
I don't see the need in asserting something like that. Kind of like in asserting a religious belief.
Oh, of course not. Yeah.
Pa gusto se hicieron colores,
Yep.
right? I don't know how to translate to English. Hold on. For different tastes, there's different colors, right? Like they're, pa gusto se hicieron colores. Like it's supposed to be meaning like the crayons. At least that's how I.
Right. Right. I mean, it's not about enforcing, but also it's just like I requested one thing, you didn't want to do it, now you're just being an asshole about it. That's the thing. Well, my thought that I currently have in my head is that I read something the other day where I posted a video on our nofiltersnofears Instagram, and there was a lot of negative comments saying how these people, sorry, I'm quoting them, that they have mental issues, that I'm not gonna submit to their illusion, and I obviously don't agree with that because this is not an illusion. This is who they are. This is not a mental, problem. Were you able to get it?
Yeah, so I think I just have to preempt each voice note by kind of saying what the question was. Because, the three that are in here. So one of them is in our chat. So I'm going to go back to that. No filter, no fear.
But that's what I was reading, and it was just making me super sad about it because it's like, how, for lack of a better word, evil or uninformed, ignorant do you have to be to think that this is how people...
Ignorance is a scary and very sad thing, man.
Like, these people, again, I'm sorry, guys, not my words. They're not mentally ill. These are humans. They're just literally, it's like your birthday changes a year, they're changing their pronouns. This is not who they are. This is who they are. I don't know. It was just very sad. I didn't like it. I didn't like reading that. There was just so much negativity. Obviously, not from the right people, because if it was for the right people, there won't be no negativity.
I'm
Okay,
ready.
so she got it going. Okay.
All
So
right.
what was the
I
first?
played myself sounding like a groggy mess. All right. This is Aniel. And, okay. And the question posed was what pronouns meant to him, what everyone else has been answering to this point. Then he had a couple of other things that we asked him. That's why I'll preempt those. First answer.
Well, pronouns, I guess, are one of the biggest forms of respect that you can show other people, especially when you're not with the person, is when you use pronouns the most, because you talk about them and not to them directly. Because when you speak to them directly, especially in English, it's the pronouns are not really necessary unless you're talking about them in their presence, if that makes any sense. But when you're not with the person and you're speaking about them, that's when you show the pronouns a lot. Well, in English, because it's a more neutral language. Portuguese is my native language because I live in Brazil, and it's a lot more complicated to navigate through neutrality. It's either feminine or masculine, much like Spanish, I guess.
We talked about that before.
As much as I know Spanish. So even if you're with the person, you show the pronouns and the binarity of the language a lot more, I guess.
Okay, so that was the first part of that answer.
But I think what changed before and after the pronouns for me was that people really resist the change. And in that way, I mean, I understand that it's difficult for them, but it's like they don't understand how difficult it is for me to hear them resist this change, because for them it's an inconvenient, but for me is disrespect to my face and selfishness, because they think about their inconvenience of changing one word and about something that is a level of violence to me. Like, they show disregard for my request, because up to a point, we as trans people, binary or non-binary, we are asking people for a favor to please call me by a different pronoun or with by a different name, and their inconvenience is more important than the respect that they have towards me. That's what I notice most negatively.
Absolutely.
That was my favorite thing from. It is like I told you before. It's like about them. It's like it's not.
And like I mentioned at the beginning that Aniel had said that, and it really stood out to me about. Ay, caramba. He just said it, and now my brain went blank.
Welcome to the club.
What's going on? About using pronouns is especially important when the person is not present. For us, it reinforces it. It's the maintenance, right, of the change. But also, that's when you're truly honoring that person.
Exactly. That's how.
That you claim to respect and have appreciation for. Because you're honoring their identity. You're honoring. And I feel like it's so much more than just a request. There shouldn't be the request. This is who I am. By the way, this is who I am. Ragada. Like, if I introduce myself, hi, my name is Vanessa, you're not going to doubt that I say my name is Vanessa at first meeting. So don't doubt it if I say my name is now Melissa. Like, I am the person who this belongs to, and I'm telling you what it is.
Right.
Yeah. And of course, the inconvenience. We've talked about that. The recurring themes, respect. The biggest demonstration of respect is when you behind their back. Yeah. I
And
mean,
that's how,
go ahead.
I was gonna say that's how you know you've, maintained it, maintenance, and you've actually used it and done it, and
Right. And I think it's for the person who is correcting that in themselves. It's also it's not at all like a pat in the back. It's a I'm so glad it should make someone feel good to know that you're acknowledging another human being. You know what I mean? It should make you feel good and want you to repeat the action. Because you know that when another person goes around to them, whether you've not done the formal introduction, oh, you must be Vanessa's friend Aniel. She told me a lot about you, that you're an upstanding guy. You know that that person was talking about you as you want to be spoken about,
exactly.
not that behind your
Right.
back they're talking about some other person. I love that. I like that what he said. Okay, but now we're gonna go to it's also a matter of adjusting. Sadly, we're human, therefore sadly imperfect. So on top of those who don't respect others, we have those who have a hard time adjusting. Yeah, absolutely.
Which is
But
totally fine.
repetition is key. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So the question, oh, this was the question about do, about foreseeing pronouns changing.
One of those questions was that how does he feel that the pronouns will eventually change? Are they gonna stay the same, or will they
Right.
not
So let me make
change
sure.
at
Sorry,
all?
no, I hate. So what I was trying to say was that my pronouns have already changed. That initially, when I started exploring my gender identity, I identified as genderqueer. I even have a tattoo on my thigh to prove that. But what I understand of genderqueer is that the pronouns are not important for them so much as binary trans person. Like, for example, I have the role models, I guess, of genderqueer or gender non-binary are not bothered by the pronouns. But I guess, every individual is different. But being referred to in the feminine really, really started bothering me. And so initially, I asked people to refer to me as neutrally as possible. But then I realized that that was not enough for me, that wasn't cutting it. When somebody referred to me in the neutral, they were just avoiding me for who I was, for what I was identifying as. And so I went full masculine pronouns. I guess I don't see my pronouns changing in the future because they have already changed in the past.
All right.
Mike, I asked him that question because in the LGBTQA plus community, I've heard of, everybody's. I'm sorry.
No, no, no. Go ahead. I'm trying to make sure if the next recording is.
Of their genders changing, from just like where they're like, oh, lesbian, and they went, no, I'm not a lesbian anymore. This is not who I really was. I was truly this person. When you find yourself, you go through the stages. So eventually, you end up in one that you're like, this is me. This is who I am. This is definitely what I feel comfortable in, and that's what the question came about. And I was just very curious. I wanted to know,
Yeah. There is one more little clip to that
Yes,
whole
there is
section. I
one
found
more.
it.
Yes.
I think nowadays, personally, identifying as a genderqueer doesn't bother me so much, but at the time I was really avoiding, I think, all the trouble. I was avoiding going through all the trouble to really come out. That was my experience with gender.
And that is another thing. Some people go to the easiest thing personally for them because they don't want to sit there and have to explain 500 different things to this person. So they're not necessarily lesbian, but it's the easiest way, easier shot. Then people just, that's it, you move along. But if you sit there and be like, no, I'm technically not a lesbian because I do not identify as this. This is who I am. But, you know, it just becomes a whole different window that most people do not want to get into. So
Right.
I understand his answer as to why he said genderqueer, and you know.
The thing is, and something that I want to point out is we have been able to make correlations and ties to things that are outside of this topic directly, right? Outside of pronouns, to explain the importance of pronouns, which only leads us back to the whole idea that it's not so far from us to be able to understand and make this change, because we can all relate to it in a different way, and how we would feel if the tables were turned, and if it was that meaningful thing, especially when you come out multiple times as exploring yourself isn't accept child. Yes. Yeah.
Totally agree.
You know, so, and I think, Chubby, you said this in one of the voice notes that I heard. No, you sent it to me because I was like, I'm confused about this question or whatever. Like, we as humans are constantly evolving. Our likes, our tastes, our needs, our how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about the world around us. And that is absolutely true.
We are.
Yeah, no, I'm getting, yeah. I feel, yes, absolutely. And so, because if we take a moment to step back and realize, okay, this is how I would feel if this particular thing that I've requested, what this need wasn't met, right? And then you flip it back to that other person, you know, they're requesting this from me. What does it really cost me? What to make this person feel appreciated? And especially if it's already somebody, if it's a family member, if it's already a close friend that is coming to you with this and saying, you know, I'm having these discoveries about myself. This is who I am. I am a he, I am a she, whatever the case may be. If there's already somebody in your life that you have a relationship with, you have a unique opportunity to truly show them how much they mean to you and how much you appreciate them exactly for who and how they are, in just being able to make that shift in pronoun.
Little change.
You have this opportunity. Why would you squander it and fight them on something that is so meaningful, that has repercussions beyond just feeling hurt by you? It has a mental toll on them to and already in a process where they're figuring out their identities, what they need, right? You're adding to that. So we need to be kinder to each other, not just in gestures and doing niceties for one another, but to be kinder to each other mentally, to not necessarily put extra loads on each other's brains. Yeah. I'm saying, mind you, this is how I react, guys, also to voice notes. I listen to voice notes and I'm responding to them as I hear them because I'm weird. I don't understand why there would be a cost. If someone believes something completes them, why not respect it? It shows that I support and care for them. Amen. Amen. Peter, I knew I liked you. Let me go back a little bit. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Yep.
But that is true. Like, if Vanessa tells me tomorrow, Chubby, do not call me Vanessa anymore. I decided that it just doesn't fit who I am anymore with my current life change. I will respect that. I know it's the easiest example, but it's basically that. In 3 weeks, she comes to me. 4 weeks, doesn't matter. It's that we all go through a silent process that we don't share with everybody, you know, and then it becomes like so quick to somebody. Wow, I didn't know. No, it's been going on for months, weeks, but it's, you know,
Yeah.
I just decided to tell you now.
Which kind of brings me to the topic of having it be called a phase.
I hate
Tread
that.
with caution, my lovelies. Tread with caution. Someone's identity is not a phase.
Definitely not a phase.
When it comes to, I feel, again, not a therapist. This
No,
is
we're
my
not.
opinion. I always say it from a place of love. I'm not trying to offend nobody, but this is my little brain. When it comes to gender, when it comes to sexuality, when it comes to those kinds of topics, I don't think that those are phases, right? They're cycles, they're evolutions and things that we go through. And it's kind of, I feel, demeaning of someone's process to call it a phase.
Definitely. I agree with you. It,
No,
we're like, what's going
my
on?
mom
No.
came into the podcast. She brought me sopita because I haven't eaten, y'all.
But Aniel
Okay.
said, as you said, if after graduating I prefer to be called doctor, why can I spend time exploring myself and earn the right to be referred to in a certain way that fits me? Exactly. And it's that, to some it may not seem that simple, but it truly is that simple.
Mm. No.
Just like it is an insult to say that's a phase when you're exploring yourself. It is. Just like in the LGBT community, for example, we all could agree on this. Well, if you don't, now you will, or maybe you won't, whatever. That the bi people, they get the most flack because they're dating both. They're not selfish or they're not like, oh, you have to make up your mind. They just like both and whatever those both are, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you can call it a phase when they're dating a man 1 year and then 2 years, 3 years down the line they're dating a woman. That does not mean they're going through a phase. That means they like both, and you have to either
Right.
accept it or move on and do not criticize them. Simple as that. If it doesn't agree with your
If it's not your, it doesn't tickle your pickle, amen. Nobody's telling you you have to be XYZ.
exactly.
But but if someone's telling you that they are, that doesn't change who they are to you, who they are as a person,
Or it doesn't
their
change you
character.
either.
If they're a good or bad person, doesn't change you either. It just means that's how they choose to live their life. Go ahead
Right.
with your bad self. Live
You're
your life.
still, and you're
Don't.
still who you are. You're still who you are. Now, if you don't want to be associated with these
That's a different story.
type of people, that's a different story. But that doesn't change who you are. If you're a straight male who has a gay male friend, that does not mean you are who you hang around with. I mean, you attract your tribe, but not like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like that does not relate in that case. You are who you are,
Yeah.
and they're who they are. Really,
I
Peter?
always had an issue with the phase thing, especially when it
So that
comes to things like this, when it comes to gender, when it comes to sexuality. I can understand phase like, oh, the terrible twos, right?
Mhm.
The fabulous fours, or the age situation where it's like, oh, it's a phase. They get a little cranky. The hormones are here. The hormones are there. Okay, that makes sense. You're talking about changes and growth through the years. Those are phases. The
Yeah.
seasons, summer, winter, spring, all that business, that's a phase. But a human's identity and what the way that they evolve and they choose to express themselves is not a phase.
Not a
It's
phase.
natural evolution within a
It
being.
is. It is natural because if you didn't know what you were, would you know that you were straight? This is a general question. You wouldn't know that, but because of society, because of other outputs, you're like, they're showing you different things, and you're like, but that's not how I am. And then you realize, oh, wait, I am a straight person. Oh, but and that's how you know and learn who and what different things are. Other than that, you didn't grow up, and I mean, you didn't was born learning you're straight or you're gay or well.
We close. What? Yeah. Well,
I
well,
was
you're born with that desire, but
notion like, yeah,
what's around you kind of how
Yes.
we raise our kids kind of tells you, okay, you feel, we live in a society that likes to implement shame as a tool to keep people from living their truth,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. We should make an
And
episode on that.
oh, girl, you know I was gonna bring it up. It's one of the things I grew up. One of the things I'm most grateful to my mom about was teaching me about shame and about never wanting that for me, never wanting and 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 instilling me to not want that for anybody that I love, to want them to feel shame. And I think we discussed this. We're going back to my tree hugging moments. The highest vibration is love,
Oh yeah.
and the lowest vibration is not hate, how you would think, although it's down there, so don't do it. The lowest vibration is shame.
Shame.
Shame. So, and my mom always reminds me of that when, I'm going through moments of shame because of, I have a career that's in the limelight, so to speak. So I'm out there, I'm exposed, I have insecurities about my body, whatnot, and one can tend to build your own shame. And then societal shame adds to that shame. Um, those kinds of cycles, what I would hope to see change, right? And the shame that we put in each other, and in our children about their sexuality, about the way that they choose to love or experience relationships, etc. You know, uh, let us teach each other the possibilities that can exist, the wide spectrum of things that exist in this world. And in that growing process and in that evolution, in having an understanding of so many different possibilities, you know, you say, this speaks to me, this speaks to me, this speaks to me.
And take that in, yeah.
It's how we choose what movie we go to see it at the movie theater, right? I've seen film noir, I've seen thrillers, I've seen this, and I can tell I love rom-coms, right? Whatever the case may be. But in choosing and seeing different types of things and experiencing different things, you kind of know, yeah, I tried eggplant, it's not my thing, but I love okra. Both
There you go.
slimy vegetables, in my opinion. But to each his own. We need to allow ourselves and allow those that come after us to experience the full spectrum of everything that the human experience has to offer, I feel.
Yeah, Peter says the biggest thing of shame, it leads to fears, and fear can paralyze people.
Peter, you are slaying me today. Peter.
Yeah.
Fe-
Which is a very true thing.
Yeah.
And you can't let fear win though. What I was gonna say about shame is that you have to sit there and ask yourself why. Why do you feel it? And go through it and be like, is it my shame or is it external change? I mean shame. And then try to change that to positives like you just mentioned, and maybe we could go from there and
And
start
it's
having
kind of
better.
like I discussed. So I was invited to chat on another podcast. I was a guest on someone else's podcast. And we talked a lot about uncomfortability and how people just don't like being uncomfortable. So they don't like having these difficult discussions or sitting with their shame or sitting with uncomfortable things and having to face them. Yeah, that's another thing of the cycle of change that we gotta throw in there.
All right.
Uncomfortable is good.
It is.
If
We
you're
learn from it.
comfortable, there's no growth in comfortability. Which takes us back to Brené Brown. You see us all connected. Oh my God, how exciting.
Yes.
Brené Brown, there is no creation, there's no innovation if there's no vulnerability. And vulnerability requires feeling uncomfortable. Vulnerability requires, oh yeah, I can curse. Yay, fucking up. I have a colleague who I taught at the school, but he would say it to the adults. He would say it to the kids in a nicer way, but to the adults, he would always say, you're going to fuck up hard, and you'll never do it again. But it's true.
Yeah, it
You
is
fuck up
true.
hard, you go, okay, that's not the way to do it. We're going to try a different way.
I just
And
feel
absolutely about the fear thing. Oh, yes.
I just feel like being uncomfortable, we get to, like you say, grow. We get to learn. We get to learn new things, know new things, and just share new experiences by being uncomfortable. Hence why we do this podcast, guys. We want to talk about everything that is uncomfortable because nobody wants to sit here and be like, well, I don't like this topic. Can we like not talk about it? Yeah, we're gonna freaking talk about it, and that's it. And we're gonna learn from it. Just like today, we learned the cycles of change. We learn how to, maintain this change. So be uncomfortable. It's
Now,
9:35.
that we're gonna start wrapping it up. But I do want, this is a call to our current listeners and viewers, and to those who are gonna watch the video after. Our call to you is to let us know of the things that have resonated with you, that have uh, changed you, or something you didn't agree with, or that you've heard. Let us know. DM us. Send us messages
Just,
about it.
just let us know.
Uh, because we also want to hear what you have to say. This is our opinions, and we're now starting to bring in other voices, which excites the crap out of us. But it's important to know what you guys are thinking and feeling, because you guys tune in and you hang out with us during our tech runs. So we
Always.
make it happen. So we want to know from you. And our call to you is also to bring people in with you. Hey, have you heard about this podcast? Not because we're the coolest thing since sliced bread, but because new voices means new perspectives. My
Yes.
mama always said, and I want to say it's a quote from my Angel, but my mom always told me, speak in the language of the listener. And I speak to a certain listener, you know what I mean? And Chubby speaks to a certain listener, and each one of you and your wonderful opinions. Today, you guys were chatty and we love it.
Yes, you guys gave us something to talk about.
Yeah, and it speaks to other people that are also watching, and it speaks. Sliced bread is pretty damn cool.
Aniel says that we are.
Yay, we're cool slices of bread, Chubby.
Can I be whole grain? No, I can't. No, I guess I
No,
can't.
why can't you be whole grain? You be whole grain if you want to be whole grain. I'm going to be a
See?
baguette.
I'm being a whole grain today. No, yes.
I'm going to be a French baguette. I'm
Okay.
just saying, bringing in more people. Hold on, I just realized it could absolutely sound like we're saying, bring us more viewers. Absolutely, please do that too. But it's definitely, again, like at the beginning, we talked about this global awakening kind of situation. Hearing different voices really helps that. And no piece of carbs. And I think that the more you guys pull in your people and say, hey, sit down, even if they watch that one episode, that's a new perspective on that particular topic that we didn't come in with, that maybe one of y'all hadn't thought about. And that's what we live for. Delicious.
Like carbs.
Like carbs. My mom just brought me the most delicious mushroom soup.
Oh, yum, yum.
Yum.
And to add to what Vanessa said, if you agree with us, great. If you don't,
Great.
why?
We're
Because
not here to make you comfortable or happy.
we're here to grow together, to learn from each other. Maybe the opinion might be different from mine, and maybe I will learn something from you. And maybe you have learned something from us right now. But we just want you to be open-minded, just like we are, and we try to understand why certain people are the way they are. But be true to yourself,
Yeah.
Just be
And to
honest.
those viewers who hung on but don't necessarily agree with this particular topic, or still don't see, if you have questions, come to us directly, because we also don't want you to be, because big number one rule in the No Filters, No Fear podcast, no bullying.
No bullying.
No
And I
bullying.
apply that in my everyday life. My
Yeah.
nieces hate it when I do that. But no, seriously, come to us
So, but if
directly.
you feel differently, that you're totally in your right to feel how you feel. But
Totally.
I invite you to be open to the possibility that it can be different.
Yes, change. And respect people.
That was a big one today. Respect showed up a whole lot.
A whole lot.
And I think it's so vital and important that every individual who spoke today, who had their notes played, that all they're requesting is respect. and we all deserve respect for as human beings, and it all that they require, like all they're saying that they require to feel that respect and to feel appreciated, respect, did you hear me, is call me by my name.
It is a 2-hour podcast special.
Today it is today.
It was important. We needed to. It
Aniel
happened for
cracks
a
me up
reason.
because in our voice notes, I send Aniel voice notes sometimes, and he calls them mini podcasts. Now you see what a real one's like.
Right. We have many of those.
Yes. So, fun things before we head out. We're going to be posting up a fun interview with Mr. Aniel himself. So
Yes,
keep your eyes peeled for that.
can't wait for that.
Yeah. And also, we are going to start recording our pre-show convos, not the ones just before this, but the ones that are kind of like prep meetings as we prepare for the episodes. A lot of chatting goes into this, guys. So we want
Yes.
to let you guys see a bit of that.
When we don't know yet, we'll let you know how we're gonna let.
We're
Those
working
will
on
be
it.
little surprises.
Por ahí viene, por ahí viene.
Yes.
But we're not telling you when just yet because as we see, technology is very unpredictable. Facebook, I'm watching you. I'm mad at you. I have no words.
As I always say, guys, reading is essential. Get your knowledge going, get your brain working, learn something, read something that you're interested about, but you're ashamed. No, just read it, go for it. And, just get that library up there filled, with stuff, and
Yes.
just
Good stuff.
good stuff. And just, hey, we're here. Come to our DMs. Not
Yep.
like that, but, share knowledge.
See, careful, Chooby. You don't know who you're inviting.
Right? I'm like, no, wait. Just be respectful.
Send us your
honest.
message. Invite your friends. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow on
Yeah.
Insta. Follow on the Facebook.
Anchor.
We're on Anchor and Spotify. We're all over the damn place. You cannot miss us.
If you just want to listen to us and not look at these faces, Anchor, you're good. Want to see
That's
us?
fine. Although I put a little effort today for y'all.
I did too, always. Not kidding.
Yeah.
No.
Next week I might wear yoga pants. I'm not even going front.
Right.
So, see, look, Aniel said I was ready for this, for the lengthy talk. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I don't identify as. I am.
Yes, Google Podcast.
Yes.
Sorry, Aniel. Okay, he mentioned the yes. Sorry, it's important too. I forgot that one. Thank you.
Oh, we're on Google Podcast. See, news to me.
I know I forgot to tell you, and because I forgot myself.
Look, this is so exciting! Yay!
See, I learned, but now she knows, and now we're never gonna forget again.
Now we're never gonna forget again. Yep. So
Okay.
I am just really happy. I hope that everybody feels seen and heard and respected today and always. And if you don't, it's coming. It's coming.
Yes. But
and love. Yes, love.
Lots of love.
That's half a heart because I don't have the other one. Hi, Tiani. That's my aunt. Yeah. That's my aunt.
Yeah, she was on earlier. Just know that we're here to listen to you guys, okay? With no judgment, no nothing, just unconditional. Just come to us. If you have no
We are two beautiful, like, potajes of a mix of different things between Chooby and I. Woo, we got some sazon.
Oh, yeah.
So we're definitely not going to point fingers and judge.
Right, definitely not. But I hope you guys enjoyed
so
this
much.
podcast. Yes.
Oh, look. Oh, wait. Before we head out, I'm sorry.
Yes, no, that's fine.
So, and she's going to hate me for calling her out. But PK is watching the PK method. Okay, this is a podcast about giving people a voice. This woman gave me my voice, literally.
Oh, hi.
I had so many issues with my vocal cords. I'm a singer and an actor, and this is my life. And the PK method is all about her method of training the voice and all that. So if you are an actor, a speaker in any way, go train with this woman. I'm so glad that you popped in. I love you so much, PK. And on that note, I leave so happy.
We're so Hispanic. We said bye like 20 times.
I mean, that's how we do.
Yes.
This particular stereotype is correct.
Yeah, I mean, not sadly, because I don't care saying bye 20 times and we keep talking. But yes, guys, thank you for watching. And thank you for staying with us through all the difficulty of the
Absolutely,
technology. Oh,
thank you.
God. Yes, thank you.
And maybe we'll
And
start doing it a little bit later because I think you guys are like relaxing from the day. You got out of work, you ate dinner, now you're having a little drink.
I know,
I
I
like
think
it.
7 is too early for some people. 8 o'clock? Well, let us know, guys. DM us, tell us if 8
Send us a
o'clock is
DM
better.
if you agree that it should be 8 o'clock. Send us a DM. Let us know. Thank you for all
Yes.
the hearts.
Thank
Love you guys.
you.
Thank you for the support. See you next week,
Bye.
Monday at maybe 8.
Maybe 8.